What's up guys, welcome to Indie Shorts. This is going to be a video of me commentating over Agatha because loads of people have just been curious for loads more information about the film, just general information that wouldn't really fit into behind the scenes videos and stuff. So I'm basically making another behind the scenes video. So this is just going to be me talking about loads of different aspects of the film, mentioning just random things about it really, and the process from start to finish, as well as specific things I have noted down that will be interesting. So let's just start the film. Again, this is like the 8th time I've recorded this video. I've said that line before as well. That was my first video I said that. I swear it's like whenever I take a break or just don't do anything for a while, I always need to record it 8 times before it's good. Just so happens to be 8. I hope this doesn't continue. This is really painful. But yeah, let's go. And speaking of these intros, or well, speaking now of these intros, Black and White Studios, that doesn't exist. I made that up in like, well, obviously it doesn't exist, but I made it up in primary school. I don't know why. Just when I made my little videos in primary school, I just thought, yo, Black and White Studios, that's totally not cliche, so I added that in. But with this shot here, it's sort of dark and rainy, but it wasn't originally like that. The rain and the darkness, that was all added in afterwards. It was actually quite a sunny day, and that just wouldn't really fit with the video and what I put in the script. That train, yeah, we waited ages for that train. But here, before and after, that's what it originally was. I mean, like, quite a lot brighter. You can see I've cropped in and adjusted the frame and everything, which I've done with quite a lot of the shots. I'm going to this next bit, the watch, this shot. This was probably one of the best shots in the film. I think it's really good. It was just a standard kit lens I used to get this shot. And yeah, it's just turned out really well, just zooming right in, pulling focus onto it, using stabilization in post-production, which made it seem like it was slow motion, even though it wasn't. Kind of added that sense of like a long amount of time that she's waiting, as well as this first flashback, just a little flash. You can't really see much, but it gives sort of hints at the story and what's happened before. But then, in contrast to this, yeah, that's the word. Bright, sunny. I was on the roof here recording, which was quite funny, with my zoom lens like a sniper. It was difficult, but at the same time it wasn't. It was more fun than anything else. But one of the most obvious aspects about this section is so much brighter. I kept it bright. I even made it a bit more brighter. Added a tint of yellow, really, just to add like a sunny, happy feel, as it's showing like her life before all of this bad stuff happened. And then here we're at my house basically. So we see my house here. This is not my door. Zoom in, this cut. This is now Danielle's house. We did this because it just made more sense to film in separate houses, because most people wouldn't realise. And it just made the whole recording process so much easier. We had more time to record. It was just better really. Then in this room, it was actually really dark, and I kept it dark. Made it slightly darker as well, as I wanted like just a small bits of light that was seeping through the windows. It just sort of focuses your attention more on just Agatha and not what's surrounding her, which is basically what the film is about, just her thoughts in her head. And yeah, that was actually me phoning her, just renamed my contact. And there, first flashback, which triggers her, meltdown. And this scene didn't go very well, even though it does seem okay in the final product. I had to rewrite the entire film like on set, because I came up with the idea for it without actually seeing the location I'm filming at, which is a really bad thing, because I scripted that she would interact with her environment in ways that were like essential to the story. But when we got there, those things she had to interact with just weren't there. Like originally her dad was going to knock a candle over, which was on a cabinet right in front of the door, and we just didn't have that, so we couldn't do that in the script. So we had to rescript and everything. It was quite messy, but it turned out alright. Then here, yeah, this is the rescripted version where she's lighting it and setting fire herself. Then this music, I think the music individually, it works quite well, but then when we cut to the next section, it doesn't really merge that well. And I think I may have held this shot a bit too long. But when we go here, right now, that change in soundtrack, personally, I think that's just another flaw in this film, as well as the bad audio in that last section. It just doesn't really work, but I feel like editing again, or just seeing this in general, just help me make my videos better. And for my new film that I'm doing, I'll just bear these things in mind. And yeah, that last shot where she falls to the ground, the camera follows slightly behind, that wasn't originally going to be used, but just with some, like, you know, fancy editing, cutting in the right places, that was brought in, and it just made it so much better. But here we're at the train station again, another one of my favourite shots with this tracking, well, not really tracking, just more like following around her face. This was the first time I recorded in public, and this was actually the first bit of the film we recorded. And, I mean, we drew attention to ourselves, but it went really well. Which, I mean, that's the best bit, I guess. I've never actually recorded in public before, or on a train. This was actually probably one of the most difficult parts as well, because I had to record, waiting for the train, ready to be recorded as the train arrived, and then, you know, get on, still filming. It was difficult to catch up with, but it still worked, and it just makes the film like seem as if it had a much bigger budget. Just, I don't know, just improves the film a lot more when you interact with the environment and out in public and stuff. It just improves it so much. And here again, we just have the voiceovers, flashbacks, and again with the the emphasis, which I've included quite a lot in this film. It is dark around her, and it's mainly just her face that has a clear, visible outline with the light, and the rest is mainly dark and flickery. That was more just emphasis on her, just her face, her personality, to try and just keep the concentration on the voiceovers, the monologues, and what she's thinking, as that is the main part of the story. Again, yeah, we have the flashbacks with the fire, and the fire was the best bit of this film. It took so long, but it was just so good. And there's before and after and stuff, edits and stuff of that. I'll link in the description, all about the fire. You can see that, but there's some small things I've done with it, which definitely made it more realistic, I hope. But yeah, this is definitely one of the best bits. And now, as you guys at the train station, still keeping the same soundtrack, but again, like with my last one where it was in the room and then cuts to the fire outside of the house, where they didn't really blend that well. I think here this is probably the best time I've just blended two soundtracks. You see when she gets to the gate sort of things, I don't know what they're called, I don't go on trains much. These gates just down here, you hear the soundtrack change, but it blends so well, it feels as if it's just one long soundtrack. Right there. So that's blended in, and now we're at the cemetery. And the whole cemetery scene, it was recorded on several days. This bit right here, this was recorded a week before this shot. And then this shot was just mainly just me, 75 to 300mm lens, zooming in around, just getting random shots of the whole place. Close-ups, wide shots, switching lenses around, just trying to keep a strange and disturbing atmosphere. And I also added stabilization afterwards, which gives it some sort of floaty feel like I did with the watch, to make it seem as if the time was a lot longer than it was. I did the same here, just a weird strange atmosphere, keeping really low contrast and saturation in the colours, keeping it quite dull, even more emphasis on her thoughts, not drawing too much of the visuals but more to what she was thinking, which, you know, more immersed in the story, I guess. And as well as all the other bits, this wasn't even recorded in order. Here, this shot right here, that was recorded in my front garden a week before, and the same was this bit. This was in my back garden, just by myself in the evening with a brick and laying that out myself. These were all recorded separate bits, but because we planned and, you know, sorted out all the clips afterwards when making the film, it all just, we knew which shots were which, and it all blended together really well. And here, another one of my favourite shots, the tracking shot where she's walking. I don't think I added stabilisation. This is the smoothest shot I've ever got handheld, and it just following her, it just was really good. And again, still keeping a low contrast overall in this whole film. Sort of keeps with the dark tone and like depressing feel to it all. And then with the monologue, if you look, you notice that it sort of matches what she says. And when she repeats what she says, the clips I use when she say that, they were also repeated. So again, it's just more emphasis. Like this bit here, the black, like, can represent silence, more like a visual silence where you just can't see anything in the film, so it's just nothing. That just more emphasis, just small things I've added just to try and make the viewers see more immersed in what she's saying and what she's thinking. Just all put together, like here, you know, with these film grunge and everything, just emphasising the confusion, just everything was just added together as much as I could, but not too much, so it could all like blend in and keep the focus on what she's saying as well as the visuals as well. But now, you know, that's the end of the film. And overall, I think this film actually went pretty well. I think I might edit some more. I might do a re-edit, change some things around. Maybe I'll do a different version with different music. Maybe one with no music. Maybe a noir version. I don't know. Just leave comments. I mean, this film's done pretty well. Already on 400 views. I recorded this video like so many times today, or this sound, and everyone I've just said like, yo, 400 views by the end of Christmas or end of the year. And by the time I've spent doing this video, it's got to 400 views, which is good. But then this leads me on to my next final thing, which is my new film, Perplexity, that I've been planning for about 3 years. Really long time. I came up with it in year 9 when I brought up this channel. This whole channel was made just for that film, Perplexity. And it's, yeah, it was a rubbish idea. I thought it was good at the time, but I've read over it and was like, this is terrible. I didn't want to make the film, I wanted to save it until I had the resources and like knowledge to be able to make it and not waste a good story. But then I realised, like, why did I wait? It was a bad story anyway. So I'm rewriting it now, and it's literally the best script I've written, best film. I think it's going to go really, really well. But with, you know, all that said, it does come with a cost. Literally, it's going to be sort of expensive. I mean, there's a few things I don't need to buy now because I've just found some lying around and I can borrow some of these props. But it's going to be sort of expensive. So I've set up a GoFundMe page. If anyone would like to, you know, put money towards the film, that would be really great. And you'll definitely be seeing it in late 2018, early 2019. Then it should hopefully be done. And yeah, it's going to be one of the best films I've done. Actually, you know, I've only really done like one proper film so far. I mean, this year. But anyway, yeah, that's the film. It's going to be good. Donate if you want. All the links are down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is just like a commentary, more information about the film and everything. So yeah, thanks for listening. See you in the next video.